Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Fortuna video blog. My name is Caroline Diarte Edwards. I'm a director at Fortuna and was previously head of admissions at INSEAD. And I'm here today with my colleague, Michel Belden. So Michel was Associate Director of MBA admissions at the Wharton School and has been an expert coach with us here at Fortuna for about 5 years. So Michel, we wanted to talk today about the Wharton team-based discussion. So it's a bit of a different interview format that the school introduced a few years ago, and quite innovative and very different style of interview versus the traditional MBA admissions interview. So can you walk us through how the process works and what a candidate should expect?
Right. So when you're invited to interview at Wharton, you will be sent a prompt that will give you what is going to be discussed for the Wharton team-based discussion. They ask you to prepare a 1-minute intro with your idea. So what it is, when you get there, it's you and about 4 to 5 other applicants in a room, and you'll be watched by the admissions committee. But you and the group are leading and running the entire discussion. It's 35 minutes. So each person will start by giving their 1-minute introduction. You should introduce yourself and then answer the prompt with your idea. And after you all do that, then it kind of gets opened up into your discussion. And really what your goal as the group is to really work together to come to a final outcome. So one, you'll want to be prepared that if your idea is chosen, that you can really dig deeper into it because you're going to be the go-to person. And also they want to see that you are adaptable, right? They're going to be assessing you on your communication skills, your skills that you bring as a team player. Can you be adaptable and let go of your idea and agree on someone else's and take that and work with the team to come together and build upon that to then present at the end of the 35 minutes. You could be a note taker and offer to do that, take notes, make sure that your voices continue to be heard as well. You could be the person making sure what time is allotted, that you give yourselves 5 minutes to come to what the presentation should be at the end, giving everyone something to speak to. And bringing everyone forward. So if you are, showing your team skills, because it's really reflective of what they see as what is Wharton all about, working in a team. And what position will you fill? So this is reflective of that, and they want to see how you are going to perform. There might be someone that overtakes the whole group, and how are you going to respond to that? There might be someone sitting there and doesn't say anything. Can you pull them into the conversation? Can you help move the conversation forward, not get stuck on one thing, but know that you only have 35 minutes and you all want to come to an outcome of what they have been asking you to present at the end. So be able to bring forth these skills. So what you want to do is prepare. So prepare what your 1-minute answer is. If that was selected, you have more to bring forth, but also thinking about what skills you can bring as a leader of the group. But also obviously don't be one that overtakes the whole group discussion, but making sure that you show those leadership qualities.
Right. And is there an advantage, do you think, from your experience in, being the person whose idea is chosen? Do you think that gives someone an advantage in the dynamic or not?
Not necessarily, I would say. I think they're not even as focused on what you are saying, but how are you saying it? So if you are selected, like I said, being prepared to go that extra step and you're going to be the point person. You're going to be the person who has all the knowledge based on the outcome that you had shown. So you want to be able to answer questions. But again, if you're in that position as your idea was chosen, bringing other people into it, making sure you're a good listener. Being a good listener is important, as well as being as part of the communication. And if you are not chosen, I've seen people, I will say for Fortuna, we have a mock team-based discussion with our clients. Really helps them prepare, get a feeling of how that looks like. And I've had people say, I'm not an expert on what was chosen. Let me ask you some more questions. So again, if you're not chosen, but being honest and showing the skills that let me learn a little bit more, but let me bring in my experience with A, B, or C and kind of contribute as well. So if it's not chosen though, make sure that your voice is heard is what I would say, because they really want to see how you are saying it. They're not worried about what the outcome is at the end of the day. It's how you're communicating, engaging your other teammates in the discussion.
Yeah. And can you give an example of a prompt that that you've seen clients have in the past?
One prompt off the top of my head was coming up with a new Wharton, what was it called? It was like an additional class that you would do off of campus, for about a week long. What idea would you have for that? What would you want to learn from it? What professors could you bring in? How would you engage the Wharton community in solving this problem, and so forth? It was really interesting because not only did you have to come up with an idea, but how would you engage the Wharton community? So you have to do your homework on how this is an interesting idea that you have, and again, it's probably maybe from your experience, but how would the Wharton community contribute to solving this problem, and why would it be interesting for your classmates to be involved with this? What would they be learning from it, right? So it was a really interesting prompt, and but again, Wharton gives you a very clear prompt and what they're looking for. So it's nothing to try to confuse you or make it difficult. But and it's 1 minute, but it is to get you thinking about what is it, what are your interests and ideas, and how does that connect to the Wharton community and learning from each other.
Right. And have you had other experiences where the prompt has been Wharton related, or is it often just, another business topic? What is the sort of scope of topics that they typically cover in these sessions?
Yeah, they've been different, and they do change. And I think it's more to I've seen it, so it's bringing each candidate's personal interests and experiences to the table, which is really great, because then you are highlighting something about yourself and your skills. I think they want to see what skills that you do have as well, but it doesn't necessarily have to be Wharton focused. It could just be a broader business question.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And how much notice do candidates get? When do they get the prompt, and how far in advance of the actual session?
Right, so you get your prompt right away when you're invited to the Wharton interview, and then that will depend on the timing when you schedule your interview. So if it's a week or two later, and I will tell you that for Fortuna, we do jump on it right away. We set up our mock sessions because sometimes it is a quick turnaround. Within a week, you're going to be interviewing. So we do make sure that everyone feels prepared with what their answer is going to be and what that situation is going to feel like as well. And the Fortuna clients work with their coaches to come up with, what that 1 minute, answer would be, as well as then having the experience to talk with others through it. And then we give feedback to kind of be like, this is the role you took. Next time, maybe you try to do this, or you did this really well. You want to make sure you do that. And then also to point out that after the 35-minute team-based discussion, you are given a one-on-one, about 10-minute interview with an admissions committee member. They do normally ask questions that are follow-up. How do you think the team-based discussion went? And is that representative of how you usually perform within a team? It kind of gives you the opportunity, if for whatever reason something didn't go well, you can really speak to where you feel like that wasn't your best reflection of how you perform, and giving them examples of who you feel like you are, or if it is, and then pointing out what you think you did well, really moving the discussion along, being adaptable, helping come to a consensus, and so forth. So the 10 minutes again will go by quickly, but again, they're focused. They've had your application, they get to see you in person and meet you, but really how you're going to perform within the Wharton community as a team, collaborative nature that they have.
Yeah, it really puts the emphasis very strongly, doesn't it, on the team element.
Yeah.
And do these sessions always take place on campus? And then if so, how do candidates engage if they are not able to travel to campus?
Right, they are not always on campus. They do set up the hub interviews in certain locations, obviously, because they don't assume that everyone can make it to campus.
Yeah, okay, all right. And those are typically around the world?
Around the world, yes.
All right, okay.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, all right. And so typically candidates are able to actually physically get to one of these sessions?
Yes, I have to say, I believe they're normally always done in person. I haven't really had someone that hasn't been able to get to one of the interview.
Great.
Because they do, it's definitely being able to be in the same setting with those 4 to 5 other people and have that discussion. So they do make that something that can get everyone. And obviously, like you said, it's a big investment, so people are going to get to a location as close as they can near them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And any final tips for candidates who are thinking about preparing for this? How can they prepare? Because obviously, you don't get a lot of time in advance, the topic very far in advance. And then, what are the pitfalls to avoid in these sessions?
Yeah, I think to prepare, one would just be the answer in that 1-minute intro. So really just reflecting on what they're asking in the question and whether they're trying to get what you want to get across in that 1 minute. But really remembering when you're sitting in that seat within the group and, you want to help be a facilitator and you want to show that you have good communication skills. Again, if you want to be someone that watches the clock or is the note taker, take a role and take a position and contribute to the entire team moving forward towards an answer, and that you're someone that does listen to other people and say things like, wow, that's a really great idea, I hadn't thought of that, and making sure, we haven't heard from you in a little bit, what's your idea? Bringing other people in that maybe aren't speaking. So really making sure that you keep engaged, I would say. You don't want to be quiet. You want to make sure your voice is heard. You don't want to speak on top of other people. So you want to, but it's also to show that you have the skills and you have good ideas in the sense of if you could highlight your past experience that you had, that how you would contribute, and asking questions of someone, either that if their idea was chosen, and being thoughtful, I think is all good ways to prepare and think about it and be yourself. So be confident and know it's one piece of the application process, but at the end of the day, you don't want to sit there quietly and not be engaged and help, contribute to the team.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Michelle. And for our viewers, if you would like to talk about the Fortuna team-based discussion mock sessions, then please do contact us on our website. We'll be happy to set up a free consultation for you.